Hello, and welcome to the Family Reunion podcast of First Church to Land. Today we have the good fortune to be talking with Corey Denson, the drummer for the contemporary worship service. He's a talented artist, and he brings an amazing energy and cohesiveness to our contemporary worship music. We're very lucky to have him as a part of our team. We hope you enjoy this interview as we get to know more about Corey, his faith, and what drives him and his passion for music. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, and you?
Doing great. It's a really great day. I wish it was a little cooler out lately, but
Agree.
So, I was wanting to start off the interview with just talking a little bit about what are you passionate about,
Yeah. Outside of music,
or inside of music too.
well, music is my main passion since I was a kid. But without God comes first, of course. Music, sports, and anime. That's the most.
Anime?
Yeah, man.
Really?
I'm big on anime, believe it or not.
Awesome. What's one of your favorite shows?
One Piece.
Oh, love One Piece.
Rurouni Kenshin. I'm a classic guy.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched Bleach?
Oh yeah, I watch Bleach. Yeah.
Okay.
And the new ones. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I haven't watched the new ones
No?
yet. No.
It's pretty good.
Is it good
man.
stuff?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, cool. I'm going through Full Metal Alchemist right
Now?
now with my daughter.
Okay.
It's kind of a rite of passage in the Addams Family.
Yep.
The first anime they always watch. Actually, the first one they watch is Trigun.
Gotcha. The
Have you-
classic Trigon, not the new
Classic-
one.
not the new one,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
classic
I see. Yeah,
Trigon.
the classic's good.
And then we watch Full Metal Alchemist, and then after that, they kind of go on their own
there.
separate ways.
Yeah.
I'm actually watching Jujutsu Kaisen with
Oh yeah,
my
I
middle
finished
guy.
that. Yeah,
Did
love it.
you? Yeah,
Love
that's
it.
awesome. I had no idea you were into
Yeah,
that.
man, that's my thing. It's my little secret.
Nice, nice. So, how did you find out that you were interested in music? That was a passion of yours.
I have to say I was probably 6 years old. One of my cousins, maybe like 7, 8 years older than me, he was playing the drums at our church. My grandfather's a pastor.
Oh, really?
So I grew up, in the church, and I can literally picture it right now. 6 years old, I could barely look over the pew, and he was playing the drums, and I was like, I want to do that at 6. So funny story, believe it or not. Probably like maybe when I turned 7, they actually let me play one song during a live service at 7 years old.
That's
and I
cool.
was dragging the song, and my dad's 6'8", so he's a big dude.
Right.
I was dragging the song. He literally snatched me off the drums. Like, embarrassed at 7 years old. So since that moment, I cried. I'm 7. I was embarrassed, but
Yeah.
I told myself that would never happen again.
Uh-huh.
So then I literally never had a lesson. I just taught myself how to play the drums. So from there, maybe when I was like 12 or 13, I started playing for multiple churches at 12 or 13. So that was my
That's-
first job getting paid at 12, 13 to just go play.
That's
yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, man.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing. I mean, it's great having positive feedback, but
Yeah.
negative feedback also
Oh,
really
yeah.
helps bring. Okay,
yeah.
I got to bring myself up, right?
Yeah. That was I had a competitive spirit at a young age. That really shaped me. That was the first no I got in life, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna shame you. That was me and my dad. We still to this day, even when I went to college to get my degrees, I got my bachelor's, and he was like, that's nothing. He literally, I was like, what? He did. He's like, no, you gotta get another one. So I was like, all right, and I'll go get. Hey, what you don't know is I'm already enrolled to get another one. So yeah, that's just how I grew up, man.
That is so cool. That is so cool. And you said the other passion is sports.
Sports, yeah. So I actually played football in high school. My mom would never let me. I was musically inclined. That was my focus. But when I got to high school, they finally let me play. So my uncle, my cousins, they were all in the NFL. Believe
Oh,
it or not.
really?
Yeah, my uncle's Bobby Butler. He played for the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, yeah.
Went to Florida State. He was the other side where Dion was. So I grew up
Oh.
around all this. They was friends with MC Hammer.
That is cool.
Yeah, man.
That is cool. So, what position did you play?
Free safety. I like
Nice.
to hit people. That was my thing. But yeah, so my career ended short. I fractured my foot my senior year, before the
Oh,
first
wow.
game. I played a few games, but then after that, I just went back to my first love is music. So, yep.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you sort of talked about this a little bit, that your family definitely influenced you for
Yes.
your music. You had who was it? That was the 7 when you were 6. That was the 7-year-old. Was your cousin?
Oh yeah, my
Your
cousin. Yep.
Do you have anybody else in your family that's musical?
Musically inclined. My grandfather played the the trumpet.
Okay.
He was actually in the military, he was in the army, and he
Oh.
played actually the trumpet in the army. My mom, she sings, but as far as musician wise, my brother he fiddled with the guitar, but he didn't stay consistent enough. But I'm the only one out of my family actually plays an instrument. Like
That's
yeah.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm the only mathematician in my family.
Yeah.
So.
I get it.
So I understand. I'm also the only left-handed person in my family.
I'm lefty too, man.
Nice.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. My dad's, well, I'm ambidextrous, but my dad is like the only lefty. Then it's me. I only write, like, I do like important stuff with his hand. Everything else, I do with it right.
Yep. I write and eat with my left hand, and
Yep.
everything else is with my right.
Same,
yeah,
same, yeah.
That's crazy. That's cool, man. So whenever you found that your passion was the drums,
Mm-hmm.
how did that transform your life?
That's a good question. It shaped me differently. Like I knew, I think I matured a lot faster because I saw everyone else that I played with was way older than me. So like I grew up kind of fast. Like when I went to college, like I partied maybe a little bit, but I was kind of like, I had seen so much at a young age, so it kind of shaped me to like, okay, I need to do it right. I want to be this successful by this age. So it kind of like me being exposed to the church and keeping God first and seeing like the ins and outs of like adulthood as a teenager.
Yep.
It kind of, it shaped my future and what I wanted out of life. Like, so, now like I freelance and play for certain bands and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But without music, I wouldn't be me.
That's very cool.
Yeah, man.
That is very cool. Have you have you seen your passion change other people?
Yes.
Like impact people?
Yes. Believe it or not, even here at First Church, oftentimes random people in the congregation come up to me like, "Hey, man, I touched you, I felt you," like things of that nature. And it's kind of like when I was a kid, when I was younger, I was like, "What are you talking about?" You know what I mean? Like, I didn't understand it, but now that because even the Bible speaks of like even instruments, being of praise and praising God with the cymbals and your voices and things of that nature. So it's kind of like me seeing that my talent is actually touching people, even though it's not like I'm singing or you know what I mean, like to hear the drums and that's impacting people. It means a lot now, Yeah, it means more. When I was a kid, I didn't understand it, but now it's kind of like I get it. I totally get it now. You know what I mean? So.
That's really cool. I can definitely tell you when you weren't there a couple of weeks ago, it was like totally a different experience.
Different.
Yeah, man. You definitely bring a life to the band there, and it definitely. I'm not as much on the praise music side, but I definitely enjoy your music, and it definitely brings me a feeling of worship.
Thank you.
So it definitely has an impact.
Thank you, man.
So we're very grateful to have you here. How long have you been here?
This is going to be, I think, year maybe 3. It feels like 4. I think it's 3 though. It feels like 4, but it's 3.
Basically, sometime in COVID time is when you came here.
Literally.
Very cool.
Yep.
Very cool. Is there a particular story in the Bible that really speaks to you? Switching subjects here a little bit, but
there's a lot.
There's a lot.
Recently, I've been reading. I started reading the story of Jacob. That's been like my thing. With him and all his brothers and how they tried to get rid of him and things of that nature. So like that's what really resonated. But my whole life, the one story that stuck with me was Samson. And it wasn't because of his hair, even though I had long hair.
Well, those who don't know Corey, before early on his time here in the church, he had amazing dreads, and then you went through a battle of cancer, and lost your dreads, and so, but that wasn't the reason why.
That wasn't the reason why.
Okay,
so it was just a whole story, like this powerful man, like who God blessed to be the strongest man to ever live, and like his weakness was like his hair, like that. Like, and then like I started researching more and more. I was like, was it really hair, or was it the covenant that God had that if he told somebody about his hair, that's where it lied? People don't think about that. Like, was it really the hair? Because even though his hair was cut, God still gave him the power back after that. So it wasn't really, it was just a covenant. Like, I believe that's what it was. So, but like, that was one of the biggest stories, like, that's just stuck with me. Watching the old classic movie of Samson too, it was kind of it was cool to see that as a kid. So, but yeah,
that's interesting. I hadn't thought of it from that perspective.
Yeah, man.
That it was whenever he let Delilah,
and
let loose to Delilah, that was his weakness.
That was the weakness.
That was really the end of it.
Yep,
that's cool. That is very cool. Well, if someone else shares your passion, what kind of advice would you give to them?
Don't give up. Try to find your assets. Like what I didn't tell you was like I wanted to take lessons as a kid. My parents couldn't afford it. It was 4 of us.
Yep.
So, it was kind of hard during that time, raising up in the 90s, my 80s baby, but being raised in the 90s was kind of hard. So like I had to teach myself. And then like when I got to high school and I had the opportunity to like go to band class and stuff like that, I didn't really appreciate it because I feel like I was far ahead of what they were trying to teach. And it was basic like drum. It was like snare. It wasn't like the drum set. It was just like, I'm going to be a marching band. And that wasn't my thing. Yep. Don't give up. Like, that's one of my biggest things. Like, I even tell my daughter, I tell her, like, when she doesn't get something, the key is not to give up. It's like you just keep going at it, you'll eventually get it. And that's what I tell her all the time. Keep doing it, you'll get it. That's pretty much it. Like, regardless, I put in the hours, like the 10,000 hours. Anything I do is like, I feel like you put in the hours, you can do whatever it is. It's so much you can do now in this world. You know what I mean? Like, the access of YouTube University, that's what I call it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah, man, don't give up, and don't strive to be the next person. Just whatever's in your heart, just push that and go for it.
Very cool. Very cool. I can relate. I had no lessons in anything whenever I was growing up. I just self-taught, and if you have the passion for it, you follow it, and it will come to you eventually. But and it's funny because whenever you dovetailed back into the system, you were so far ahead because you had actually cared enough to find. And what you learn on your own tends to mean so much more to you than something someone gives to you. Right?
Even like fixing your house. Like, I've been a homeowner for about like 7-8 years now, and it's like one of my friends is like, I don't own a house. That's why I have rent and maintenance come in. I'm like, but dude, you're not really getting no value out of that. I mean, you're paying them every month, but what are you're not owning, you know what I mean? Like, and you take pride once you in your house and your tile needs to be fixed or something. You're like, oh, I fixed that. You know what I mean? Like, you look at it like, I can sit back on my couch and like, yeah, this is mine.
Yeah, it's relationship, right?
Man.
Just like what God wants to have with us.
Exactly.
He wants us to have, it's not a, hey, come here on Sundays and then someone else is going to take care of all of your problems for you.
Correct.
It's an ongoing relationship. And anything that you don't have a relationship with isn't really yours.
You're right. You're right.
That's brilliant, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, this has been a lot of fun, man.
Yeah,
do you have anything else you'd like to add at the end?
No, this was great, man. I'm sure you have other people to interview and things of that nature, but I appreciate you doing this, man.
It's been great, and I'd love to get to know you more. It's really cool.
Yeah, man. I'd love to come back.
All right, cool.
All right, thank you.
Cheers.
All right.